Hi everybody, how's everybody doing? It's been a while since I've done a video like this, but I wanted to step in and talk to you all about something that is going on in my life. So, never mind the ice maker that's right beside me that may be making some noise. So where I live, it's currently like, for the past week, the weather has been like 90 plus. Well, we noticed that it was a little warm in the house. And so we have some nice, really nice industrial fans. And we took them out when we would go to bed and use them, and we were good. But the next morning we woke up and we thought, wait a minute. Okay, so the AC is not working. The AC went kaput. And it was the worst feeling. It was super hard for us to work. And you know, we do cooking videos. How do you turn the stove on when it's so hot outside and your house is even hotter than it is outside? So this was going on for about, let's just say, 4 days. Yeah, I'd like to say 4 days. So my husband goes to Lowe's. That's the first thing he did, and he got these really nice fans. And when I tell you they were really nice, they were super expensive, and they worked, right? But what we figured out was, well, first thing, we called some people, and we wanted to get estimates. How much is it going to, cost you guys to come out and look and tell us what's wrong with the AC, this and that? And their prices was absolutely ridiculous, right? And so my husband said, well, I bet you there's some places that'll come out and give you an estimate for free, and then you have them do the work. Okay, so he was calling around, I was calling around, but in the meantime, between time, we have a basement and it's finished. Just, it's got the couch, the TV, the bathroom, everything downstairs that we would need. So not the first or the second day we decided, let's go in the basement. We did, and we were much more comfortable. It was still warm down there, but with the fans we was good to go. So anyways, we called this company. This gentleman came out, and when he came out, my husband really didn't have a good feel for this gentleman. And so the gentleman, first thing he did was he went into the basement. I don't know what he did down there. And then he went outside. And when he went outside, he told my husband, he said, yeah. Oh, okay. So my husband said, what's the Freon looking like, or refrigerant? I don't know what the terms are. And the guy said, well, it's low. He said, it looks like you might have a leak. He said, because there's none in there. And my husband thought, oh, well, okay. And he said, this is what the gentleman said. He said, well, here's what we can do. He said, I can put refrigerant or coolant, well, whatever it is, you guys know what it is. He said, I can put that in there. He says, it's going to cost you $1,200. Right? He said, here's what I'm going to do. He said, I'm going to leave this. He said, and I'm going to come back in a couple hours. It was like 3 or 4 hours. He said, I got to turn the AC off and let it thaw out. He said, something was this is what he said. He said, something was frozen. I'm trying to explain it the best that I can, because I don't know the terms about an air conditioner. He said, something's frozen. He said, I got to let it thaw out. He said, and I'll be back in a couple hours. Well, he came back and he told my husband, he said, here's what we can do. We can put some refrigerant in there for $1,200. He said, now there's a possibility that it leaks out, and then you're going to have to pay between $10,000 and $15,000. And he wasn't joking. And my husband said, baby, he said, the whole time the gentleman was here, he said he was sitting down on the ground and he was on the phone the whole time. He said, I don't know what he was saying, and of course he don't know who he was talking to. He said, but I didn't get a good vibe from this guy. And so When the gentleman came back, he was doing some stuff. Of course, we don't know what he was doing. And so I went over to him and I said, we're getting the free estimate, right? And he said, oh, well, yeah, you're getting a free estimate. And then he had my husband sign something. And he basically, he left. Now, he stated to my husband, he said, the refrigerant, the coolant, and something else was all gone. Okay. And my husband kind of raised his eyebrows at that, like, what is this guy talking about? But anyways, so he left. And of course, we didn't deal with them. So we spent another day without the air. We finally found someone. So made the appointment and they came out today. When they came out today, the gentleman went straight to our furnace. And when he went to the furnace, he said, okay, I guess he found something in the furnace. I don't know. I wish I could explain it a little bit better. He said, he told my husband, he said, this right here is off, whatever it is. And he said, let me go see in my car if I have one, whatever it was. He said, and I'll be back. So he comes back with whatever it was. He tests ours, whatever this thing was. And he said, he told my husband, he said, see how yours is reading 0? He said, that means this thing is like, it's done. He said, now look at this one. And he plugged it up or did something. He said, now see how this is reading 15 or whatever he told him. And my husband's like, yeah. He's like, this one is good. He said, so here's what we're going to do. He said, we're going to put this in here. I don't know. I'm trying to explain it. Don't laugh at me. He said, and what is this? I guess something from the furnace was up against the wall or something, like a door or something. I don't know, because I wasn't down there. But the gentleman said, let's go outside. So they go outside, and my husband says, well, the gentleman that was here last time said the refrigerant, the coolant, and something else was gone. And the one that was there, he said they're all the same thing. So I don't know what he's talking about. They're just different names, right? And my husband's like, well, and he also said there was a leak. And the guy said, there's no leak. He said, I got what you're going to need in my car. And he went and got some piece, and he was done within minutes. But I tell you one thing, during that heat, in the struggle of trying to get our videos done and our work done, through all this heat and just trying to sleep. And like I said, because you all know that the house was much hotter than it was outside. If it's 96 outside, you get the gist. We prayed, and we was praying, and the gentleman said, I'm going to go back in the house, and I'm going to see if the furnace is working. I can hear my husband saying, Dakota, go check the vent in the bathroom and see if it's cold. Dakota's like, it's cold. It's cold. And I heard, that's what I heard. And I guess that was the air coming on. All of a sudden, I could just feel air. And I thought, are you kidding me? Next thing you know, I came downstairs because I had just woke up. I told my husband, I said, get that man some water. I got him a big old glass of ice water, and he was super grateful. But he wound up leaving. And my husband said, he's all done. I said, he's done already? And so I said, well, how'd it go? My husband said, wonderful. God is good. Right? So the gentleman charged us $400. What a blessing. But the moral of the story is how evil people can be. How evil and conniving and liars and all the above. You got to watch people, because people will try to get you. And especially if you don't know, people just don't know about air conditioners like we don't. It could have been an older couple or something that went forward and went ahead and paid that $10,000 to $15,000 or $1,200 for refrigerant, and it's so crazy that there's people out there in the world like this. They see that your house is super hot, but they don't care. They might not like you. They have evil in them. But what's great is, and that's my husband in the background saying evil, evil. But what's great is God wouldn't let it happen. God wouldn't let it happen because he said, this time I'm going to send somebody out that's going to be super nice. He's going to explain everything to you. He's going to do the job right. And he's going to be truthful, And so we were just praising God because the devil will try, but you got to resist him. If you resist that devil, he will flee. And it's written, resist him, resist that devil, and he can't do nothing but flee. He better go find somebody else, right? And so the air is working. The air is working. And it's a wild story. And from the beginning, my husband felt like the oar from the gentleman that he just didn't have a good oar. It was something about him that, like I said, made my husband raise his eyes at him the whole time he was on the phone. And even after that first gentleman left, we were thinking, I wonder if he put a hole in there. What if it was a very minute, a small problem, and he's putting a hole in there? We felt evil from this gentleman, and you got to watch. You just have to watch people, because it's people out there. It's people out there that they're trying to get you. They don't like you. They don't want good for you, or they want to harm you. You just have to have your eyes open, and you got to stay prayed up. But we are super grateful, and we thought we would share that story with you because it is eye-opening. It's definitely eye-opening. You never know who you're dealing with. You never know if somebody has the devil in them, right? Super scary. We're back, and thank you all for listening to me.
They tried to charge us triple for something that wasn't even the problem.
Yeah, my husband's in the background. He said,
he tried to charge us triple for something that wasn't even the problem.
He's saying he tried to charge us triple for something that wasn't even the problem. How super scary is that? How super scary is that for, maybe a younger couple, an older couple, or somebody that just don't know? Keep your eyes open, because there's people out there that is trying to do that. And it's not funny, but God wouldn't let it happen. My husband just reminded me of this part. This is where it really gets wild. So the part that we needed, the gentleman didn't even touch it. And that was inside of the furnace. And you had to take like this door off of the furnace, take the piece out, and replace it. He didn't even touch. So remember, he went down in the basement first. He looked at the thermostat up in one of our living rooms. That's first thing. He went down in the basement, just looked at the furnace. That was it. Didn't open it up, didn't do nothing. And was willing to charge us that money. But there is a God. You hear me? Y'all stay prayed up. There is a God, and he hears prayers, and he answers prayers, and he's good. You hear me? All the time. And all the time, God is good. Absolutely. I'm going to get off of here, y'all. I ain't going to cry. I feel like my eyes is getting a little weird, a little watery. But I love y'all. And I'll be doing some videos later. We're going to be doing some videos for y'all. Until the next video, stay prayed up. Good night.